the most part, look around someday. And as a side note on loving my country, and you compare healthcare in both countries, which I do a lot these days. And I just say, and I said this to the firemen today, if anyone disses United States healthcare with all its flaws, if anyone disses United States healthcare or thinks anyone else around the world is better, call 911 in the United States. See how many people take care of you. Call 911 in minutes.
Yeah.
And receive, I'll go to my grave on this. The care, it's called CARE, the care. It doesn't matter what the coverage says or the insurance policy says. Can you get the care timely and inexpensively and everything else? And I'm just saying, I will defend only personally on my end for the last 30 years or so. I'll defend U.S. healthcare all day long from a standpoint of care. I cannot believe the expertise that's out there and what an excellent experience you can go through, because I have personal experience that last few months on that.
It's true.
So there, I went a little monologue there, but either way, I will eventually start wrapping here. Val, you got a quick minute or two, and then I'll do a little monologue to finish up. This
I'm going to just quickly compare from the Canadian side, because people here in America will say to me, well, you guys have free healthcare. And no, it's not free. It's a one-size-fits-all, and it still doesn't fit. Shout out to our friends, our Indian friends in Alberta. Speaking of healthcare, just heard from a dear friend of ours, and he said 2-year wait list for an MRI. 2-year wait list. And so I'm hearing of many Indians in Alberta specifically where they're not receiving care. That's not healthcare. That's death care. And I'll go into the numbers on death care. That's called medical assistance in dying. And what that means is the government is on one end of it, the end that stays alive, and the patient is on the end of it that leaves you dead. There is zero way of follow-up because you're dead, and the government decides who lives and who dies. They hold your hand while you are dying. That is not healthcare. And so I'm really upset, because it seems like Indians, Natives, Métis are really getting shafted in the province of Alberta under a conservative. I don't know what's going on there. I did hear from one Native woman who was put into the psychiatric ward, shouldn't have been. All these things dumped through her body. She's actually an American citizen. She was able to make calls, and there was some intervention. But this is, we need to have better communication between what's going on. I mean, we do have the U.S. to Canada, Canada to U.S. ambassador there. There's supposed to be Alberta representation in the United States watching this, but one never knows. All I know is that I have a long list of these files, and as of today, a 2-year wait list in Alberta for an MRI.
I can't believe that.
And they're not even allowed to vote to have a referendum. All they're allowed to do is ask permission to have a say in their future. What? You want to talk corruption and blackmail and bribery? Don't get me started there. But anyways, you said a minute. So honestly, I'll let you close
out. We will have kind of, and it's important, we will have kind of a Canadian catch-up show here, or segment. Real soon. Very, very important. The issues you're bringing up, and it's just a laundry list. But I mean, on your end, the MAID program, Canada is leading the world many times over on assisted suicides. And what people don't know, we've broadcast this in the past, people don't know, in truly socialist countries, they give out free health care. They have what's called, it used to be called in American insurance, it's called death panels. And it's where you decide who is the most costly patients. And honestly, we'll say the elderly. And it works out real well if they drop off the rolls, because they're very expensive to treat, obviously. So that's as much as I'll say, but you're touching on some key points. And I do want to talk some Canadian stuff in an episode down the road, because it's worth the time.
Well, I'm going to be checking in with him, and he's an Indian in Alberta, and he's 70. He's 70, so he fits in that profile you were saying. And if he ends up dead, we're going to have an emergency rapid deployment. But I'm watching very closely. 2 years for an MRI. I'm going to follow that one. That is absolute garbage. But also our Canadian military, they're also under threat because the MAID program gets suggested to them when they have PTSD or CPTSD. So it's really sad, and we have a big problem. The government should not be allowed to facilitate kill programs. That is absolutely needs to be reviewed at the highest level of, globally. I mean, this is a big story. These are the things China is put on the barbaric list for. Meanwhile, we're just doing them in Canada. We get away with it. I don't think so. So anyways, these are issues that
need. The thing is, it's right in front of our eyes now. No one's even hiding it anymore.
No, we know these people. I'm responsible. Can you imagine if I just sat back and said, well, I don't care, I can't help you? No, absolutely not. I mean, that premier is in my riding. So if I have to go there myself and crack the books open and look at the death body pile, we'll do that, whatever it takes. This needs to be our attitude, is help your neighbor and stay alive.
And I always say to people that health and medical can work really, really well. And I'm just saying, because I will be signing off here, Val, but I'm just saying, in the United States of America, with the rap that we get, and there are tragic stories here and all that stuff, but with the rap that they get, I'm going to tell you, fact, because I just went through it. On the spot, no appointment x-rays, no appointment needed. 24-hour notice for MRI or CAT scan. 24-hour notice, maybe 48. No more than about 10 days notice for surgery. Even sometimes shorter. So it's called getting the care. So to anybody out there, God, I love it. And I'll tell you what, I had Quebec Medicare in the 60s and 70s, Val, when it delivered exactly what it was supposed to. It was great. We had a local doctor. It was great. The public school system in the 60s and 70s, it was delivered the way it was supposed to, with my mom and my grandmother and stuff as teachers, when common sense ruled the world. But this is a new era. And I do encourage people to look on the other side of all these issues, including U.S. healthcare. I'll tell you, I'll be celebrating forever some of the miracles of U.S. healthcare. If I sound humble and appreciative, I am. I've had surgeries for the first time in my entire life this last year, and I'm just amazed. Anyhow, I'm going to actually